Hi everyone, and welcome to our training webinar. My name is Phil, and I'm your Platform Community Support Manager at iPerceptions. I'll be taking you through our training webinar today. As most of you joining us have only recently signed up for an account, the main goal of our webinar today will be to give you a quick intro into each of the sections of the portal, and then taking you through an example of how you can create an iPerceptions survey within your account. Before getting started, we just want to spend a couple minutes to give you some background into iPerceptions. iPerceptions is a pioneer in the digital voice of customer landscape, and we were one of the first to understand the importance of asking visitors about their website experience, since there are some insights that you just can't get with behavioral data alone. This is why we explicitly ask visitors about their intentions, their motivations, their perceptions, and their experiences at the end of their website session. Our survey invitation methodology involves inviting website visitors on arrival to a website and then asking them to complete the survey at the end of their session. Using this methodology helps to ensure that you gather a representative sample of your website visitors and prevents a negative bias which might occur if you were to invite visitors only at the end of their session. We worked with Avinash Kaushik in 2008 to develop the 4Q framework, which are the 4 questions that every website owner should know about their visitors' experience. Today, I'll demonstrate how you can set up a 4Q survey. iPerceptions is a global company, and we understand the importance of asking visitors about their experience in their preferred language, which is why you can set up a 4Q survey in 32 languages. We also understand the importance of context, which is why we've developed the largest comparative benchmarking database in the industry. At iPerceptions, we conduct active research. Active research focuses on engaging visitors in the moment of truth, the moment that they're interacting with your brand. By reaching out when visitors are engaged with your website, this helps to ensure that we're getting reliable data, while we also follow a framework approach which leverages our best demonstrated practices working with Fortune 500 companies. The objective of active research is to take the unique data and insights provided by iPerceptions and provide context to your existing data, such as web analytics data. By integrating your iPerceptions insights with Google Analytics, you can understand the why behind the what. This helps to provide you with a more complete understanding of your website visitors, which can prove to be a strong competitive advantage for you. Before we jump into the active research platform, here's an overview of what we'll be focusing on today during our training webinar. First, after showing you how to log into your account, I'll be providing you with a quick overview of each of the 5 sections of the portal and the type of tasks that you'll be able to do within each of them. The purpose of this training is to get you up and running with your research project, so we won't go into too much detail on the reporting tools today. After doing so, I'll show you how you can start creating a survey leveraging the 4Q framework and how you can use our survey creation wizard to add additional commonly asked questions to your survey. For those with websites in multiple languages, we recommend engaging your visitors in their preferred language. So I'll show you how to activate the 4Q framework in any of our 32 supported languages. Once your survey has been created, I'll show you how to brand your survey with your logo, choose the best invitation template for your website, and also adjust the survey's invitation rate to determine what percentage of your website visitors will be invited to participate in your survey. Finally, I'll show you where you can obtain the iPerceptions JavaScript for your survey, and also cover some best practices for implementing it on your website. We understand you're busy, and we thank you for taking the time to attend the training. We have a lot of people attending today, so if you have any questions, please send them to support@iperceptions.com, and we'll get back to you following our webinar. You can also check out our active research form, which also includes tips and tricks on how to get the most out of the platform, and the form will actually cover everything that we're going through today. Also, you can access a detailed user guide at any time by clicking the Help button provided on the left side of the platform. So let's get started. To log into the portal, you can find a login menu provided at the top right of your screen throughout the iPerceptions website. Just hover your mouse over the drop-down menu, enter your username and password, then click Submit. When you log in, the My Projects section is the first page that you'll see. This section is the homepage of the portal and gives you a quick glimpse into all the projects that you've created with your account. Also, this is where you'll be able to start creating new projects and also activate or deactivate them at any time. I'll be coming back to this section to provide more detail once we've created our example survey. To give you a quick overview of the portal, you can see that it's divided into 5 different sections, the first one being My Projects. Next, you have the Design section, which is where you'll be able to modify your survey, modify certain aspects of the survey interface, and also add translations if you're looking to create a survey in multiple languages. Next is the Collect section, which deals more with the technical aspects of your survey. This is where you can pick and choose your survey's invitation type and template, its invitation rate, and also this is where you can get the iPerceptions JavaScript for your survey that you'll need to implement on your website. iPerceptions provides the ability to integrate your data with a number of different data providers, and something that you can do with any iPerceptions plan is integrate your data with Google Analytics. In the Integrate section, you can easily push certain iPerceptions data points into your Google Analytics account, and this can help you add the missing context to your web analytics data. As an example, with the integration, you can easily distinguish between visitors struggling to find information and those positively engaged on the site by examining time on site by task completion. Note that we do provide a step-by-step guide on how to integrate with Google Analytics on the active research forum. Finally, the Analyze section is where you'll be able to review all the survey results through a number of different reporting tools. After you've launched your survey, we recommend checking out the reporting tools within this section so you can keep a close eye on your closed-ended and open-ended responses as they come in. On a side note, we did recently release an extensive update to our text mining tool to provide more ways to dig deeper into your open-ended data. So let's get started with creating a new iPerceptions survey by clicking the Create New Project button provided in the My Project section. The first step to creating a new project is specifying which type of project you want to create. With the iPerceptions free plan, you can gain valuable insights into your visitor's website experience with the 4Q framework, which was developed in collaboration with Avinash Kaushik. The objective of this framework is to understand the visitor's overall experience, purpose of visit, and task completion. Since visitors are randomly selected to answer your survey, the insights that you gain on these 3 areas will be representative of your overall population. At iPerceptions, we believe it's important to offer a full range of engagement methods. So available with the paid iPerceptions plan is the ability to create comment cards, which uses a passive invitation method to collect tactical feedback from your website visitors. Since comment cards are opt-in feedback, they're a great complement to our representative surveys. If you'd like to see an example of a live comment card, you can actually see one implemented in the bottom right corner of our portal. Also, as of our premium plan, you'll be able to create custom surveys, which would include only questions that you yourself create from scratch. So let's select the 4Q task completion research option and click Next. The second step when creating a new survey is to provide some background info. First, you need to provide a name for your project, which will be used to help you identify it throughout the portal. Next, select the default language for your project. If you're planning to create the survey in multiple languages, select the language that you want to use for the master version of your survey. The next step asks you to choose whether or not you want to collect your respondents' IP addresses. Next, you're asked to enter a name for your website. For 4Q task completion surveys, this name will be piped into some of the questions provided within iPerceptions frameworks. Also, this name will be piped into the greeting on the welcome page of your survey, which is the first page that your respondents will see when they start taking your survey. In this example, our welcome page will show you "Welcome to the iPerceptions.com study." You're then asked to enter the URL for this project. Note that this field is more for documentation purposes and doesn't have any technical implications on your survey. Finally, you're asked to best classify your website's industry and objective. Starting at the premium plan, you can benchmark your results using the largest comparative benchmarking database to other studies within these selections in terms of your respondent's overall experience, purpose of visit, and task completion whenever you're using a 4Q task completion survey. With the exception of default language, you'll be able to modify any of these fields at any time after you've created your survey. When creating a 4Q task completion research survey, you'll have access to our survey creation wizard, which is a third step of the survey creation process. The survey creation wizard gives you access to a number of commonly asked questions that you can add to your survey. As you can see, these questions are organized based on their types, such as outcome measures, demographics, open-ended, while you'll also have access to an optional question which allows respondents to provide their email address. Since we're using the 4Q framework, you'll see that the essential questions are automatically included in your survey. For any questions that you want to add to your survey, just make sure to click on the boxes provided on the right of the questions, then click the Create Project button whenever you're done. Once you're done this step, you'll now be in the design section of the portal, and more specifically, the question setup page. This is where you'll be able to start modifying the master version of your survey. As you can see, all the questions that were selected within the survey creation wizard are now included within your survey. Also, you'll notice the device and source questions provided at the beginning of your survey. These two questions are hidden and aren't shown to any of your respondents. And these hidden questions really come in handy starting with our premium plan, which provides additional ways in which you can collect responses from your visitors. Also, these questions don't count towards your limit of custom questions. One of the questions included within the 4Q task completion framework is the valuable purpose of visit question, which asks respondents what was their intention of their visit. With iPerceptions, you don't need to guess your visitor's intent, you can just simply ask them. Understandably, everyone's website is different, so we ask you to enter the responses which you feel best fits the context of your website. To start editing the answer list for this question, click on the Edit button provided for it, and you'll be taken to Edit mode for this question. The purpose of visit question can include up to 6 different answers, including the Other Please Specify option provided. You'll notice that the Other Please Specify answer option is provided for many of the questions provided within the survey creation wizard. We find this answer choice can come in handy in many different situations, since selecting this answer choice will provide your respondents with a text box where they can answer in their own words if none of the answers given apply to them. This can help to ensure that your respondents' answers are as accurate as possible, and it can also give you insight into some new trends into your visitor's behavior or profile. Going back to the purpose of visit question, editing this question is different than editing any other type of question because we ask you to best categorize each of your answers within the options that we provided, like shop, support, or learn. Benchmarking capabilities become available starting at the premium plan, and categorizing your answers will allow you to compare yourself to your industry based on the context of your respondent's purpose of visit. There are 2 ways where you can start adding answers to your question. First, we offer a bank of different answers based on the category that you select. To do that, select the type of answer that you'd like to add. Then, select the answer that you'd like to add. After doing so, click the Add button provided, and this answer will now be included in your answer list. Another way to add answers to this question is by using the Customize option. After clicking this option, enter the purpose of visit that you'd like to use, then select the category that best fits your purpose of visit, and click the Add button to program your answer. Once you're done, just click the Save button and your changes will be saved to your live survey. iPerceptions provides the flexibility to add 2 custom questions to the 4Q framework. To create a custom question, hover over the Add Question drop-down menu, and then select the question type that you'd like to add. To show you an example, I'll be taking you through how to create a single select question. Again, we'll be taken into edit mode, but this time to create our single select question. First, enter the text for the question within the field provided. Then, enter your desired answers within the field provided and click the Add button to program them. You can also choose to add headers for your answer list by entering them within the same field and instead clicking the Add Header option instead. For each answer, if you choose to randomize your answers, you can choose to keep an answer within a certain position by selecting the Fixed Position option provided for that answer. Also, for each answer, you can make a text box appear below certain answers if they're selected. The options below the answer list allow you to show your answers as radio buttons or as a drop-down menu. Also, you can specify in how many columns you want to show your answers and whether or not you want to randomize them. Once you're done programming your new question, click the Apply button provided, then save and close your new question. You'll be able to find your new question at the bottom of your survey. For each question that you create, you'll see some options on the right side of the screen. The first is the Edit button, should you want to modify a question that you've already created. While you wouldn't see this option at the free plan, the second option is the ability to apply skip logic to this question, which lets you determine which respondents will see certain questions and answers depending on their previous answers in your survey. This feature can help make your survey more targeted based on your respondents' answers, and can also help keep your survey short and efficient. The third button is the Archive button, which allows you to remove the question from your survey entirely. Finally, the Activation button lets you determine which questions will be shown on the live version of your survey. Red means that the question is deactivated, and green means that it is activated. I just want to emphasize the importance of this button since it lets you see exactly which questions your respondents will see on the live version of your survey. At the top of the page, you'll have access to a few options which can come in handy when you're creating or modifying your survey. The Launch Questionnaire Preview option lets you see what the respondents will see on their end. By design, deactivated questions will be shown within the survey preview, so you can test questions that you've just created before pushing them to your live survey. Keep in mind, though, that deactivated questions will not be shown on the live version of your survey. The Archive folder is where you'll be able to see all of the questions that you've archived for your survey, and you'll also be able to bring them back to your survey through this page if ever you want to. Finally, with the export feature, you can also download a copy of your survey to your computer, which can come in handy for both documentation purposes or if you want to share it with a colleague. Now that we've created our new survey, let's go to the Look and Feel page. Within this page, you can make modifications to some of the aspects of the survey interface. First, you can upload a logo to appear in the top left corner of both your survey invitation and your survey interface. This is something that we recommend doing since you're really having a conversation with your visitors through the survey, so this is part of your brand experience. This helps you brand your research and reassure your visitors that this survey is being performed by you and that you care about your visitors' experience. Just click the Add Logo button provided on the page, and a new window will appear to get started. Pick and choose the logo that you want to upload, then click the Upload button provided. I just want to point out the requirements provided on the right side of the window, which I recommend following to make sure that your logo appears in its highest resolution. We do provide default wordings for them, but with the premium plan, you can modify the text shown on the welcome and thank you pages of your survey, which are the first and last pages that your respondents will see when they fill out your survey. Finally, you can also modify the text style, size, and color of your questions and answers if the default settings don't meet your needs. Just make your selections below, then click the Update button to save your changes. At any point, you can preview your selections either through the image provided or by using the Launch Questionnaire Preview option provided. Now that we've made changes to our survey interface, let's go to the Languages page of the Design section. If your website is available in multiple languages, we strongly recommend launching translated versions of your survey on the appropriate pages to make sure that you're speaking to your respondents in their preferred language. If you're launching your survey in multiple languages, this page is where you can start adding language packs and entering your translations. First, pick a language in which you want to launch your survey. Then click the Continue button provided. The page will show you all of the questions and answers included in the master version of your survey. You'll see that each question that you added through the survey creation wizard will already have default translations added for them. However, you'll need to enter translations for any custom questions that you create. Keep an eye out for any translate buttons like this one, which helps indicate which questions don't currently have translations entered for them. Clicking the translate button will expand this question to show its default wordings, while fields are provided on the right side for each respective item where you can enter the translations. When you're done, simply click the Update Translation button provided. Now that we're done creating our survey, it's time to go to the Collect section of the portal and manage some of the more technical aspects of the survey. Invitation template is the first page within the Collect section, and this is where you'll be able to choose both the type and color of your survey's invitation. First, select which invitation type that you want to use. The layered invitation uses a DHTML layer over your website, which itself will be grayed out to bring more focus to the survey invitation. The discrete invitation uses a smaller invitation window, which appears in the bottom right corner of your visitor screen. Lastly, the redirect option will show you the survey invitation within a new page, and the visitor will return to your website upon entering the invitation. Overall, we usually recommend using the layered or discrete invitation types, but we also provide the redirect option if ever you do find that the layered or discrete options conflict in some way with some of the content on your website. However, we do provide these three options to provide you with the flexibility to change the look and feel of your survey based on your personal preferences. After making your selection, select the color template that you want to apply to your invitation. Then click the Update button to save your selections. On a side note, the Lock Template option is more for purposes internal to iPerceptions and should only be used if you've chosen to subscribe to an iPerceptions professional service where a customized survey invitation is provided. Now that we've selected our survey invitation, let's determine what proportion of your website visitors should receive this invitation during their visit. The second page within the Collect section is Adjust Invitation Rate, and this is where you can determine which proportion of your website visitors will qualify for an invitation, depending on the type of device that they're using. With the iPerceptions free plan, you can collect responses from your website visitors if they're using a desktop device, but starting with the premium plan, you can also start collecting responses from your mobile and tablet visitors to give you a more comprehensive understanding of your visitors' experience on your website. To adjust your invitation rates, click the checkbox next to the device for which you'd like to change the rate. Make your desired changes. Then click the Save button provided. You'll be able to change the invitation rates for the different language version of the survey using the drop-down menu provided. We do provide some recommendations for invitation rates below based on the number of visits that you receive to your website. If you're unsure of which invitation rate to use, we often recommend starting at a low rate, like 5%, for about a day or so to get a sense of what your collection looks like. Then you can start adjusting the invitation rate to a level that you're comfortable with. On the right side of the screen, you'll find a table which provides a quick glimpse into all the invitation rates that you currently set, both by language and by device. On a side note, a 90-day cookie is given to those who receive a survey invitation, which prevents them from receiving another invitation within this time period. And this helps to ensure that your visitors are not prompted with a survey invitation on a regular basis. So that's just something to keep in mind whenever setting invitation rates. Finally, one of the last steps to creating your survey on the portal is to obtain the JavaScript for your survey within the invitation code page. Before obtaining the script, you'll notice 4 options in which you can modify it. The Disable Flash option is provided if ever you see that your survey's invitation is conflicting with Flash content on your website. Using this option will disable any Flash content on the page when the invitation is shown. After the invitation has been answered, it'll disappear and the page will reload with your Flash content reactivated. The session cookie option ensures that visitors can only qualify for a survey invitation the first time that they land on a page where you've implemented the iPerceptions script for your survey. This comes in handy if, for example, you've placed the iPerceptions script in a global footer or on many pages of your website. The session cookie ensures that it would be possible for visitors to receive the survey invitation only on their landing page and removes the possibility of being invited later in their visit. The onload option ensures that the iPerceptions script will only be called after all of the other content on the page is finished loading. However, if you're using a content management system to implement the script, we'd advise against activating this option so that the iPerceptions script can be properly called. Finally, the cookie expiration days option lets you modify the length of the cookie that's given to those who receive a survey invitation. And this cookie prevents visitors from receiving the same survey invitation more than once during this time period. When you're done making your selections, just copy the code provided and implement it in your website code. Keep in mind that if you're launching a survey in multiple languages, to make sure that you copy and implement the right language version of the script on the appropriate pages. For example, you should implement the French version of the script on the French version of your website, the English version on the English version of your website, etc. I'll go over some best practices for when you go to implement the iPerceptions script on your website. But first, I just want to take you through one last important step to activate your survey. And to do that, let's go back to the My Projects page. For your new survey, after you've implemented the iPerceptions script on your website, you'll need to activate it to start serving invitations for your survey. To activate your survey, use the online/offline button provided to make sure that your survey is online. If ever you need to deactivate an entire survey, follow the same steps so that instead it shows offline. Also, if you're running your survey in multiple languages, you can pick and choose which languages you want to activate if ever you don't want to activate all of them at once. So now that we've created a new survey, let's go over some best practices for implementing the iPerceptions script on your website. You can implement the iPerceptions script on any pages where you'd like to give your visitors the chance to receive a survey invitation, but we normally recommend placing it throughout your website or on a global footer. This can help to ensure that visitors receive an invitation as soon as possible during their session and potentially prevent them from receiving an invite in the middle of a process that they've already started. Within your code, we often recommend placing the iPerceptions script directly above the closing body tag on the pages on which you're implementing the script. Also, we recommend not placing the script within any divs, tables, or iframes. If you're using a content management system to implement the script, we'd recommend avoiding the onload option provided on the invitation code page of the portal, since that feature is more optimized for whenever the iPerceptions script is implemented directly into your code. On a side note, we do also offer a number of different plugins for different content management or e-commerce systems to make it even easier to implement the script on your website. For example, we offer plugins for WordPress, Joomla, Blogger, Shopify, Magento, just to name a few. Check out the plugins page on the iPerceptions website for a list of our different available plugins. You can find this page under the products section of our website. Some things to keep in mind whenever you're testing your survey. First, make sure that you've activated the survey using the online/offline button provided on the My Projects section of the portal. Also, make sure that you've set an invitation rate for your survey. If you want to test your live survey before pushing it on the live website, you can consider either placing the script on a test page which isn't linked to your website's navigation, or you could implement it within a staging environment if one is available to you. If you do either of these, we recommend setting an invitation rate of 100% so I can receive the survey invitation on every attempt. And then whenever you're done testing, adjusting the invitation rate to a level that you're more comfortable with whenever you're ready to push it to your live survey. If you're not sure what invitation rate to set for your survey when you're first launching it, we usually recommend setting it at a low rate, like 5% for the first day or so to get a sense of what collection looks like, and then adjusting the rate to reach a level of collection that you're more comfortable with. Finally, note that a 90-day cookie is given to those who receive the survey invitation to prevent them from receiving another invitation within this time period. So whenever you're testing, just make sure to clear your cookies before every attempt to receive the survey invitation. Now to just go over some things to keep in mind regarding your actual survey. First, you should keep your survey short but efficient. If your survey is too long, you might start seeing an increase in the proportion of those who exit your survey before reaching the end, and that might potentially impact your level of collection. If your website is available in multiple languages, you should implement translated versions of your survey on these pages to make sure your visitors can complete your survey in their preferred language. Before activating your survey, make sure that the questions you want to show to your respondents are activated so that their activation button are green in this question setup page. Brand your survey by uploading your logo in the top left corner of your survey's invitation and interface. This can also come in handy to help reassure your visitors that the survey is being performed by you and that you care about their experience. Finally, if you do use it for your website, we recommend integrating your iPerceptions data with your Google Analytics account. This will push a set of predetermined iPerceptions variables as events to your Google Analytics account, which you can then use to provide more context to your behavioral data. We do provide documentation on the integration process in our active research forum, so feel free to check it out if you'd like more information. This brings us to the conclusion of our training webinar, and I hope we were able to answer any questions that you may have had to get started with your free subscription. Thank you again for attending our webinar today, and happy research.